Hello everybody, John12 back here again with another episode of the Super Kaioken Dragon Ball podcast. Yes, if you have, been a subscriber of my channel since last year or late last year, then you would know that I started an entirely new podcast titled the Super Kaioken. I had hinted throughout the year that I was going to do a Dragon Ball podcast dedicated solely to Dragon Ball and or other types of anime, and I think the first episode went good. I mean, for a first episode, I think it was decent. It was definitely right under the gun because, I really had to get it done, and I kind of rushed myself, and the song that I created was very rushed to edit. So it was definitely kind of a mega mess. But now that I had some time to, sit back and relax and, see the feedback and, see the reaction, it's like, okay, well, now let's just relax, let's do some exercises, let's fucking do some kind of epic Super Saiyan type of action, I don't know, just stuff like that. Nevertheless, I'm here with another episode of the Super Kaioken. This is the first episode of 2015. I'm recording this January the 9th as of right now, and let's just sit back, relax, and I hope you guys enjoy. Nevertheless, this whole episode is going to be basically around a specific comment I got. For those of you who don't know, I started a series of videos, basically me trying to discuss as to whether or not a live-action franchise could happen with Dragon Ball. Now, lots of people have watched those videos, lots of people have given me feedback, and a lot of people agree with me. Of course, there's those few people who are like, oh, Dragon Ball sucks and it would be terrible as a movie. There's those people out there, but fuck them. I don't really care about them, and their opinions may be valid because it has yet to be proven. But then again, it's just one of those things where it's like, it just takes time, effort, love, appreciation, and technology to make it happen. So, but nevertheless, let's get right down to the comment. This comment I got 3 weeks ago, essentially on my making a Dragon Ball live action franchise part 5 video, if I'm not mistaken. And essentially, here goes the comment. It's by a username titled Larson Williams. So, okay, let's start off the comment. I really want to see a live action DBZ movie happen, and I agree with a lot of your opinions. Just floating a question by you, do you think a live-action TV series would be a better start to get the ball rolling? Something like Flash or Arrow, because I personally think those two shows caught the comics perfectly with their own bit of originality, and they both did a supreme job of capturing the comics and bringing them to live action. Also, your Easter egg idea is golden. Well, first off, thank you for agreeing with me. I mean, I don't make these videos for people to purposely agree with me, but when people do, it's kind of awesome to know that, we're on the same wavelength. And, also, thanks for my Easter egg idea. I don't really remember what I stated in that video, but I think it was, now that you mentioned Easter egg idea, now I remember. It's like, oh yeah, that's when I said it would be fun, kind of like if DBZ did the Marvel Studios way. It's like, in every movie, there's, shit tons of Easter eggs to other characters from the Dragon Ball universe. Here's Frieza's ship, and over in the corner, there's Beerus. There's a purple walking cat. Who is he? Is that Beerus, the god of destruction? Is he going to sleep, or is he going to destroy a galaxy? That's what I was that was what I was trying to get at. So, but if you want to know more of that, just go check out that video. Anyways, first off, I love your question, I love your idea, because it just reminds me that a lot of people, users, subscribers, just general watchers, who check out my DBZ discussions or check out my overall channel, that we're on the same wavelength, that we're on the same page as of, what to do with the franchise and how it should be. So I really like to thank you for that, but overall, could a live-action TV series be a good Kickstarter for a franchise? I personally think it would be a great idea. It's actually an idea that I've been thinking about ever since I was in high school. So, yeah, I think a live-action franchise could work, but could a TV series be a good Kickstarter towards that? I think it could. Let's say, and it could be good even at the same time of a movie. This was pretty much my original idea, and I kind of still stick by that, even though there's a few problems here and there, but overall this is pretty much the idea. Every single DBZ fan has their perfect idea of like what Dragon Ball is. You know, you have Dragon Ball, then you have Dragon Ball Z. And then you have Dragon Ball GT, and then you get the movies. There's those kind of separate universes that coexist together, but they're kind of separate. This is pretty much my idea. The movies would be heavily focused on the DBZ storylines. You know, like the Saiyan arc, the Frieza arc, the Cell arc, hell, even the Buu arc. You know, that kind of stuff. The TV show, which could run before or at the same time, would be heavily focused on Dragon Ball. That's my personal idea. There's other people who might think differently, like it could be in reverse. Sure, why not? You know, Dragon Ball Z TV series, Dragon Ball movie series. It could work either way. Overall, I think Dragon Ball as a TV show would work more because DBZ is such in a different format in comparison to Dragon Ball that it could not work as a full-on movie, because this is how I think of it in my idea, in my really messed up brain. If you did Dragon Ball movie, the first movie would work, because especially if you stuck closely to the source material, your actors did an amazing portrayal, you know, the visuals were amazing, the writing is good, originality is there, it's fresh, it's nice, it's everything the fans want, you know. But you would have to do multiple fucking sequels, like almost Harry Potter style, just to make sure you got at the end of the Dragon Ball arc. That would be insane amount of money that tons of movie studios would never fucking get down with. They would be like, you know, 3 movies and then that's it, we're done. You know? Especially because you don't know whether or not the franchise is going to work. You just don't know. You could, in production, you're believing in it, you hold it close to your heart, and then you release it, and it's in the hands of the fans. And they can go anywhere, which way with it. They can be like, oh, I love it, or I hate it. And then that's the end of the franchise. But Dragon Ball Z is a different story, because people are familiar with Dragon Ball Z more than Dragon Ball. Yes, I know it's the same thing, it's the same story, but just for the sake of the argument, I'm going to consider them as 2 completely different storylines / titles. DBZ can work because it's made in such a way that you can format each saga into one movie. Saiyan arc, 1 movie. Frieza arc, 2nd movie. Cell arc, 3rd movie. You know, it's that kind of... And I thought, like, you think of it in Marvel Studios ways. Like, Marvel Studios has 1 phase to each series of movies that they want to accomplish. That's what you do. You have 3 phases. First phase, let's say it's like 4 to 5 movies focusing totally on Saiyan to Frieza arc. Phase 2, you know, Android to Cell arc. Phase 3 is your end game, which is straight up like... obviously the Buu arc all the way to the end, you know, to the Fusion Kid Buu arc. So that's pretty much how I like to think of it, as if what you can do. Dragon Ball is very hard to do that because it's a little bit more fantastical, and it's something that you just don't know whether or not, you know, the fans are going to like it, but you don't know if, like, the wide masses are going to like it, and that's who you're trying to, you know, shoot your shit to. TV can do that because you have so many TV shows. You know, just look at all the TV shows we got nowadays. You got all this shit that's on Showtime, Cinemax, HBO, CW, AMC, Sci-Fi, you know, TNT. All those fucking TV networks have tons of awesome epic shows that are so fantastical and weird that only hardcore fans who are just going to sit down like on a frickin' Friday night and just watch the shit out of it. You know, that's... And then you have stuff like Netflix and Hulu that people can just get at home easily. It's just one of those things where TV shows have a one-up against movies, you know. Dragon Ball would work perfectly as a TV series. I personally think it would work perfectly as a TV series. It could work great as a movie franchise as well, but a lot of people are just going to be like, God, I want to see Goku versus Vegeta. God, I want to see Goku become a Super Saiyan. I want to see Trunks. I want to see, go on, become a Super Saiyan 2. People are going to want to say that every single time they go to see a Dragon Ball movie, and they're going to be like, oh, it's like the Messiah. We have to wait till the rapture to fucking finally see those kind of movies that we want to see. It's like the Star Wars thing. It's like, can we wrap up the prequels and get to the sequels? That's what I kind of see in my head, my twisted little head, that fans are going to be like. So that's why you have the TV show. You have Dragon Ball. You get all the love and appreciation that the fans and the creators are putting into Dragon Ball, the live action TV series, or whatever you call it. Dragon Ball, whatever. You know, you put whatever title in there. Dragon Ball, the TV series, live action TV series. You know, and it continues going on, you know, multiple seasons, trying to get down all the good arcs. Take your time with it. And this is how I kind of think of it. Because, first off, characters and actors are going to rapidly grow. They're going to change. You know? Like, Dragon Ball Z, from like the beginning to the end, majority of every single character, with the exception of Gohan, pretty much is the same. You can't... In Dragon Ball, you have to keep the kids staying as kids because it's such a long journey. You know what I mean? It's just a very long journey. It's just... Goku's a little kid throughout the entire series, right up until the end. Dragon Ball Z, he's already an adult. You know, we start off like in his early to mid-20s, and then we end off in his 40s. You know, but he generally looks the same. He's generally the same guy. He looks the same. Gohan's a different story. You can work that out. You know, Gohan, he grows with the movies. You know, the actor you get to portray Gohan, he's fucking growing with the movies. One movie, he's like 6. The other movie, he's fucking 12 the next time. Because you're going to have a break in between. You know, you're going to have like a 2 to 3 year break. So, there's just a whole bunch of different kind of aspects as to where I can go with this. But overall, I think the best decision, Dragon Ball live action TV series. It comes out, first season, amazing. People are loving it. TV critics are loving it. Reviewers are loving it. The fans especially are loving it. The hardcore Dragon Ball fans are loving it. Season 2 comes out. By the time you get to season 3 or 2 to 3, Dragon Ball Z, the movie, comes out. And then you have that good compare and contrast where it's like, oh, so this is what happens before that movie. You know, and then we get to watch Goku progress in this series and see Gohan progress in that series at the same time. And it's a good moneymaker machine, you know, where it's like, okay, the Dragon Ball Z movie came out this summer. And then in the fall, or like this, like in the fall, you got the fucking Dragon Ball series. We get to see, oh, let's see what's happening in the Red Ribbon Army arc. I want to see more of that. And then the next movie comes in, Goku versus Vegeta. You go on break, and then season like 4 or 5, oh, yeah, fucking King Piccolo arc. Yes, this is where shit goes hardcore. You know what I mean? This is where you go. That's what you do. In between movies, you have a good season of episodes of Dragon Ball. Next movie comes out, the season goes on break. And then you continue going on from that. That's how I kind of see it. That's like my perfect dream of what would happen. You have the Dragon Ball Z live action movies in the theaters, and at home you got Dragon Ball TV series. We get to see Goku running around with a tail. It's awesome. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's for kids, for teens, for young adults. It's for them. You know, it's Game of Thrones meets people who don't die so easily, you know. That's what I'd like to see. And then you know, it's like Game of Thrones if it had Flash lightheartedness. That's what I want to see. Then in the movies, we get epic battles. Goku, Piccolo versus Raditz, Goku versus Vegeta, Goku versus the Ginyu Force, the hunt for the Dragon Balls at Planet Namek. That type of epicness and awesome. That's just me going like on a rant there, but that's what I'm trying to get at, guys. It's just, it could work. It just really depends. And as much as I'd like to see Dragon Ball movies, I think it could work better as a TV series. That's how I personally think. Just let me know what you personally think in the comment section below. What's your opinion on my ideas? Dragon Ball is a great series that could work as a movie if done right. But you're going to need your actors to generally stay the same throughout each movie, which is not going to happen. You know, which I stated. That's why Dragon Ball Z is better, because Gohan changes so drastically throughout story arcs that it works, because you're not going to have a movie every year. It's not like a Kiss album where it's going to come out every fucking year. You're going to have a movie every 3 years in between. So in that break, your actors are growing. Generally, your adult actors are generally going to stay the same. Your Goku, your Vegeta, your Piccolos, they're generally going to look the same. But the kid actors are drastically growing up each year. So that's what I'm trying to get at. But at the same time, with the TV series, you have every year working on a season. Every single year, you're working on that production for Dragon Ball. So your kid Goku is generally going to look the same every year. Your teenage Bulma, your teen Yamcha, your Master Roshi, they're generally going to look the same. But here comes the other problem with my argument, which is staying connected, which is a huge problem, which a lot of comic book fans are still debating on as to whether or not it's a good or bad thing. CW versus, Batman v Superman. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. versus Avengers. They have that problem where it's like you have to stay connected or not connected so closely that it falls on its face. And should the Dragon Ball series be connected to DBZ? It should. But at the same time, you run the problems because you need actors from the movies to come over. Like Master Roshi, that's the big thing. Your Master Roshi is generally going to be an old guy. He's generally going to be a very elder actor. And is he going to be up for the role of, being in production every year? It really depends. I guess it's more or less dependent on the actor that you got to portray the character. But overall, I think it's just one of those things that still needs to be debated on, and it really depends. Once again, I really want to see a Dragon Ball Z live-action franchise, or a Dragon Ball live-action franchise. I love Dragon Ball to death. I love the adventures that Goku goes on. I love, the Bulma puns. I love, King Piccolo arcs. I love the Red Ribbon Army arcs. I love all that stuff. But Dragon Ball Z is something that I've been dreaming of and, drooling over ever since I was a child. So, it's just one of those things that I want to see more. But could a live-action TV series be a good Kickstarter? I think it would be an amazing Kickstarter, and it as I stated before, it could be worked out to help out each, production, get a kick up on fan base, because the Dragon Ball Z movie comes out, it's going to need a fan base to go there. Then that's where the TV show fans go. They're going to be like, we want to see more Dragon Ball, so we're going to go see the movie. So it just really depends on how it's worked out. And what kind of writers you have, what kind of production you have, what kind of TV network owns it. 20th Century Fox still owns Dragon Ball, unfortunately. So it really depends on what they do. They have Fox, so it's a real hard decision. So I think it would be good. I stated this before that I wish, that production, studios like Time Warner and Disney should own Dragon Ball, but it really depends. I just wish Fox would just get their head out of their ass and be like, I just want to slap them and just be like, it's like, you assholes, you made X-Men. You have the X-Men franchise, but you can't make a Dragon Ball movie, right? What the hell's the matter with you? But, what are you going to do? It's their problem, it's their fault, so it just really depends on what happens. But overall, a live-action TV series, whether it be Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, I think could work, and it definitely would be a great Kickstarter to help out the franchise. But, anyways, moving off of that, let's move off. Let's just get off of that real quick and let's enter some. Let's see. God, let me take a quick water break. I've been talking a little too long, folks. Yeah. So, anyways, also in the comment section below, let me know what you personally thought about everything I had to say. And you know what's a really good question? If Fox was ever going to give up the rights, which studio you think would better be suited to own the rights of Dragon Ball? And if they were going to make a live-action TV series, which TV network would you personally want to own a Dragon Ball TV series? Personally, I go with HBO because I just think they have the money, they have the production to really make something awesome. But any other TV network would work too. I mean, like AMC having a Dragon Ball TV series would be awesome. CW having a Dragon Ball TV series would be cool as well. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of TV networks that can pull off Dragon Ball live action that I think, hell, even sci-fi. I'm exaggerating at that. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but if like sci-fi like kicked up their game and stopped being little pussies with CGI, I think they could do it too. So I don't know. I guess it really depends. More than likely, it would end up on Fox, but that's just stupid. They don't know how to fucking make a great fantasy, epic like adventure epic like Dragon Ball. So let me know what you personally think. Anyways. Let's see what we got here. Ah, God. Alright, well, let's see. Any news on the Dragon Ball Z new movie, the Fukatsu no F, which is a Resurrection of Frieza movie? There's been lots of, like, updates on what's been going on. Like, we've seen multiple, like, not story bits, but, like, tidbits on characters and updates. First off, Gohan. Gohan has definitely been, an epic character that we've loved over the years, but a lot of people have been bitching about his appearance in this new movie. Now, when I first saw the poster, I thought it was Yamcha, but in closer, detective work, it looked a little bit more like Goten. Like, for me personally, I was hoping it was Goten, because the one thing that Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods got wrong was the age ranks. Like, they did not do, like, Toriyama, bless his heart, but he did a bad job on that. It was definitely a major negative with Battle of Gods. And I thought when I was looking at the poster, I was like, oh shit, that's Goten. Finally, he got the ages right. Goten actually looks like a teenager the way he should be. But apparently it's not. It's Gohan, so that's really fucked up. Gohan looks really weird. I mean, the jumpsuit doesn't bother me. Like, I do really like him wearing his classic, well, not his classic, his father's gi more, like his orange and blue gi that is representative of his father, Goku. I like that more. But him wearing a jumpsuit doesn't bother me. It's whatever. It doesn't really bother me. But his hairstyle looks weird too. I don't know why I don't know why Toriyama had to change his hairstyle again. That was really weird too. It's like, the way you have it is good. Why'd you have to change it? Granted, Gohan changes his hair throughout the series drastically. That's a given. But the way it is now is good. It's alright. It's the way it should be, so, I don't know. It's really weird and strange, and, I don't know. It's, the way he looks in the movie, I had to see it to believe it, so. But based off the artwork we've gotten in the poster, it's whatever to me. I really don't care that much. And plus, the trailer of him being a Super Saiyan, also really weird. I don't know why people keep bitching about it, but at the same time, I can't stop myself from bitching about it. It's just, why is he a Super Saiyan? Why is he a Super Saiyan? He doesn't need to be a Super Saiyan. Does Toriyama not get that? Or who's animating? Get the color corrector and say, fuck him. You need to fire that asshole and be like, black, not blonde, black. Asshole. But, what are you gonna do? Anyways, moving off of that, Krillin. Another thing that, fans across the globe have been bitching about. Krillin, why is he bald again? Well, first off, Krillin being bald at first kind of bothered me, because we all know he has hair, and at the end of Dragon Ball Z, he still has hair. So it's kind of weird, like, why is he bald again? My first thing is, maybe Toriyama completely forgot, or is he recreating the end of Dragon Ball Z? I don't know, that's a good question. Is Toriyama recreating the ending of his Dragon Ball series? It would be fucking awesome if that was true, because, don't get me wrong, I love Dragon Ball Z, I love it to death, I love it more than even Batman, but the ending is shit. And if he recreated it and redid it in the movies, that would be pretty epic. But we all know Krillin had fucking hair, so why is he bald in this one? First off, a lot of people have been talking about it and giving their personal take on it. I kind of agree with them. It's like, okay, well, Krillin, he cuts his hair when he's in battle. That when he's in time of battle, that's when he cuts his hair. Okay, sure, but he's a police officer in this movie. That's another weird thing. Why is he a police officer? Granted, it's very unclear in the reality of the Dragon Ball universe as to who does who when they're not fighting. Who the fuck? Like, Master Roshi, that's one thing I never understood. Like, Mr. Saiyan, we can understand. Okay, he's rich. He's like a billionaire. He's famous. Okay. Bulma, she owns Capsule Corp. She makes technology. She's famous. Well, not famous, but she's like moderately famous because of Capsule Corp. She's rich. You know. Her dad is Steve Jobs. We get it. I get it. But other characters like Goku, okay, understandable. He dies almost half the time of Dragon Ball, and he's fighting and training in Otherworld. Okay, sure. It's been hinted like he's a farmer. Okay, I get it. Okay, sure. He lives in the mountains. I can get it. I can get beyond that. He's a farmer. Sure. But then there's other characters. It's like, what the fuck do they do when they're not fighting? Like Master Roshi, what does he do? How does he keep that house? How does he do that? Granted, it's in the middle of nowhere, but come on. And Krillin, what does he do? Does he just live there? What does he do? Tien, what does he do as a job? Yamcha, what does he do? He's a fucking, what is he, a playboy? What is he doing? I don't know. So it's definitely a good, interesting, like, plot point where it's like, okay, well, this is what Krillin does when he's not, like, hanging out with 18 and fucking trying to save the world. He's fucking a police officer. So, it doesn't bother me that much. It's kind of weird. But I guess it's good to know, like, okay, well, that's what he does when the world's not at peril. Okay, sure. Fuck it, I'll let it go. But, it's still a question I want to know. What does Vegeta do when he's not training? That's what I want to fucking know. That's a good... And he's like Batman. Like, what does he do in that cave? What is Vegeta doing when he's not training? He's doing something. And I know it. And I want to know. I'm just saying. It's just a weird little thing. Gohan, okay, he's a teacher. He's an educator. He's a learner. He's a scholar, I mean. It's just... Piccolo, what does he do? He just meditates all day? Okay, he's like a monk. Alright, sure. He just drinks water all day. Fuck it. But what the fuck do the other characters do? I just don't know. It's really weird. I don't know. Anyways. Moving off of that. Another really big thing that tons of fans have been bitching about since it first came out. And I'm going to bitch about it too. I'm going to join in the fun. And I'm going to give my 2 cents. And I hope everyone who's listening, who's a Dragon Ball fan, I hope you give your 2 cents in the comment section below. Right before I start, I just want to say it's my personal opinion. Not everybody has to agree with me. I know there's a huge fan base for each character that I'm about to name. But it was bullshit. And it's one of those things where if there was a shotgun at arm's length, I would use that shit against those fuckers. Anyways, I'm exaggerating, of course. I'm not saying people need to get a shotgun and go kill those fucks. I'm just saying, in a reality where I would be living in, where I don't give a shit anymore, that's what I would do. Anyways, Screw Attack. Yeah, Screw Attack has made another death battle with Dragon Ball Z characters. They have made multiple Dragon Ball Z Screw Attack death battles. And for those of you who don't know, Screw Attack is this YouTube channel / website where they do video game and comic book and whatever the fuck else kind of videos, and they do on the side death battles, and that's what they're essentially most famous for. We're taking, various video game, movie, comic book, anime characters and like teaming them up against each other and letting them fight to the death. And most of them are quite enjoyable. I will agree that, some of their death battles are pretty awesome and fun to watch, but yeah, the Dragon Ball Z ones are really bullshit, and it's quite nonsense, and that's not me trying to bash Screw Attack, because they definitely put a good effort into making majority of their death battles, and I'm just saying that Deadpool Deathstroke one was pretty badass. I like that one. But their Dragon Ball Z ones suck so bad, and they always put characters up against each other that don't really need to be up against each other. I mean, the Goku Superman one, that's a given. Okay, you had Superman beat Goku. I may not agree with it. I may not agree with everything that went down in it. But it's one of those things that okay, fuck it. It happened. That's how it is. There you go. But then you have this new one. You have Majin Buu, one of the most deadliest and strongest supervillains in DBZ, going against the most ridiculously stupid video game characters of all fucking time, Kirby, to a to a death battle, and you have Kirby win. That's just an abomination. Like, how is that video not flagged and not deleted or some shit? I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't seen them. But, yeah, it's just fucking weird. It's like after the Superman Goku thing, it was so controversial how bad that shit went down. So many fans, when that video came out and everyone saw it, so many fans from to here to hell to Otherworld to fucking Metropolis to Krypton were cut right down the fucking middle. People were on one side, the other people were on the other side. There was a shit ton of mixture of like people who were pissed off, people who liked it, people who think that Goku was depowered, people who think that Superman was overpowered. There was a whole bunch of weird nonsense that went down with that video. It was just it was definitely Screw Attack's most famous death battle, but it was definitely their most controversial death battle. And in my opinion, I liked it. I did like it. It was enjoyable, and I do appreciate the fact that they did a lot of research into trying to power up Goku against Superman. But they didn't do a great job. They didn't do a perfect job. They did like a C+, in my opinion, at trying to give out how great and powerful Goku is. So it's like a C average as to how they did Goku. But overall, it was an enjoyable death battle. And even though I may not agree with it completely, I did enjoy it, and I think it's entertaining. But then, post that, to do this, it's like, what? Like, you did the most controversial video you ever did in your career, and possibly ever will do. After that, you have to do DBZ justice, bitch. That's what you fucking do. You do justice to the characters you fucked over. And instead of doing that, you have possibly the most ridiculous character in fictional history going up against a very deadly character. And having him lose in the most drastically dumb way I've ever seen. My throat is starting to bleed as we speak. I'm sorry. Let me get a drink of water real quick. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm just saying, people, that Kirby versus Majin Buu fight was ridiculous. When I first saw it, when I first heard about it, I thought it was a fake fight, like Kirby versus Majin Buu. Why? Like, because they're pink and look kind of the same? That's why they put them against each other? I don't know why. I thought it was a very ridiculous, stupid fight for them for Screw Attack to do. But I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna watch it. You know, I was on a high with the Deadpool Deathstroke thing, so I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna watch it. I watched it, and it was so weird and stupid and just, it was just fucked up. It was just very weird. Just extraordinarily weird. It's just one of those things where I don't want to go into full details as to why it's crap, but Kirby beats Majin Buu. Why is that? Give me a good logical answer. And here's another thing that I find really weird. People who are bashing DBZ fans for arguing about the battle. Granted, it's a death battle, it's Screw Attack, they like to do wacky shit, fuck them. I don't really care about them that much. I don't know them in person, nor do I watch the videos on a daily basis, so I don't really care about them. Them doing it in the first place doesn't really bother me. Fuck it. But the outside criticism for Dragon Ball Z fans is insane. Like, if you go right now on YouTube and check out every single DBZ fan who's bitched about the fight, you have so much hate from people who are like, oh, you DBZ bitches, you're just mad because you got butthurt and you're all fucking, you can't take criticism. You can't take criticism. Not every Dragon Ball Z character is powerful. Oh, God. It's like, I get that. I'm not denying that. I'm not saying Dragon Ball Z characters are the strongest characters in the entire fictional universe of powerful characters. But Kirby. First Kirby. A Nintendo character that I have not played since I was a child. Beating Majin Buu. A character that took forever to beat in the series of Dragon Ball Z. Being so easily defeated by that little pink little ball sack? What the fuck? How is that possible? And how is it not necessary for me to bitch about it? Of course I'm bitching about it because it's so absurd that I'm even, like, I'm just saying, don't get me wrong, I like Kirby, I liked it as a kid. When I was a kid, I loved Kirby. I used to, like, in art class, I would just sit there and, like, draw Kirby, sketches, and just draw them, like, sucking up people and, like, becoming them and shit. I used to do that. I'm not saying I'm, like, a hardcore Kirby fan, but I am a decently good fan. So I'm not like I'm being biased here. But beating Majin Buu, really? If someone stated that when I was a kid back in the day when I was a hardcore DBC fan, I would have grabbed them and strangled them. Now, of course, because of the internet, we can't do that anymore. Like, I can't just go to, like, the offices of Screw Attack and be like, okay, I'm gonna kill you right now. Be ready. Prepare yourself for battle. I can't fucking do that. I have to bitch over it on a podcast. So that's the negative. But it's just, I don't know, the hate towards DBC fans for just even arguing the fight and criticizing it for its flaws. It's just, I don't know. It just gives me so much anger towards everyone who bitches about it. It's just, I don't know. Kirby versus Majin Buu. Majin Buu would have defeated Kirby 10 times out of the fucking fight over separate occasions. It's just, I don't know. And they didn't even do Super Buu. What happened to that? Where's Super Buu? Where's Buuhan? Where's Buu Tanks? Where the fuck are those characters? Huh? How'd you just go right to Kid Buu? How'd you do that? Why is Kirby using outside influences? Huh? Why is that? How is it possible that Kirby can suck up energy blasts? I don't get that. That's very, very strange for them to do, but they did it. And it's absurd, it's stupid, it's an abomination towards society, as I like to think of it. But overall, what are you going to do? Screw Attack, I like to think of it as this. I believe that there is a split party of people who like Dragon Ball Z, but there's another party of people who despise Dragon Ball Z, who work for Screw Attack. That's how I like to see it. Because don't get me wrong, I know there are people who are at Screw Attack who love Dragon Ball Z. I've listened to them and share their love towards Dragon Ball Z. I know they like them. But then I just know that there's a group of fucking people who are working at Screw Attack, who are possibly in charge of the death battles, who despise Dragon Ball Z and think it's stupid. I know there is. There just has to be. So this is my pretty much offer to Screw Attack, even though I know they're not going to listen. But this is my overall offer, and to anybody who's even listening. Screw Attack should not be allowed to use Dragon Ball Z characters in their death battles anymore. That's what I think. They should just do one of two things. Number one, if they choose to do another death battle with a Dragon Ball Z character, let them win. I'm not saying let them win easily. Obviously, have an amazing fight with a good equal fighter. But let the Dragon Ball Z character win. It's kind of like this. If you put, like, Vegeta against... Not Vegeta. Piccolo against... that caterpillar creature from Pokemon. And you let the caterpillar creature from Pokemon beat Piccolo. You would hear an uproar of rage and aggression as we speak. But if you let Piccolo win, then there would be no rage and absurdity. Of course, that's an absurd fight in and of itself. A Pokemon character against Piccolo? Come on. But I'm just saying for the sake of the argument. Just as an example. Okay, sure. Yeah. Alright, we did it. Piccolo won. Finally, a Dragon Ball Z character wins. Anyways, number 2. Not do any more death battles with Dragon Ball Z characters. Don't do it. Don't even think about it. Don't even try. Just don't. That's what I personally think. They should not be allowed to use those characters anymore. That's just how I personally think. Whether or not they're going to do it, has yet to be seen, you know? I mean, like, Screw Attack is obviously going to continue doing death battles, and even though every time they use a Dragon Ball Z character, it's definitely one of their more controversial videos, and they possibly like that, you know? I mean, like, controversy sells videos and sells views and shit to people who are just, like, just want to debate it and want to bitch about it, so it works to their advantage. I understand it, but I just don't want them to do it anymore. There is only one fucking team of creators who are on YouTube that I want them to use Dragon Ball Z characters in death battles. And I don't even care if they lost or won, but I want them to do it. And here it is, people. Bat in the Sun. They should use Dragon Ball Z characters in their fucking superpower beatdowns. Why aren't they doing it? I don't know. But they should. I'm just saying, people. Right now, if you're not doing anything, Machinima on YouTube is amazing. They do amazing, awesome stuff. But they have Bat in the Sun, a production who does awesome fan films and awesome, you know, fan-based, you know, web series and stuff. Bat in the Sun, of course, you know, done by Aaron Schonke, the writer-director who did amazing Batman fan films, you know, like City of Scars and shit like that. And he also does a web series with Jason David Frank, the fucking Green Ranger. He has an amazing creative team with him. And he works for Machinima. He does superpower beatdowns. If you don't know what superpower beatdowns are right now, go on Machinima's YouTube or go on Bat in the Sun's YouTube right now and check them out. They do amazing fan-based death battles. Way more amazing than Screw Attack could ever do. That's what they should be doing. Dragon Ball Z characters. I'm just saying, it would be so amazing if they did it. I'm just saying, they did movie characters. They done combo characters. They done even video game characters, but they've yet to do anime characters. That's what I want to see, people. I want to see a Dragon Ball Z character done right with Bat in the Sun. That's what I want to see. Overall, what are you going to do? Screw Attack, they love, they love fucking testing the waters and, like, messing with people, and they like fucking over Dragon Ball Z, apparently, but, yeah, that's just how I like to think of it. They should either, if they do DBZ again, they should have them win, a character from there win. Or if not, don't ever do it again, and just let Bat in the Sun do it, because they're superior at doing death battles. That's just how I personally see it. But overall, that's just my opinion. In the comment section below, you could let me know what you personally think, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, that's going to be it. Moving off of that, let me give you a good top 5 for today. First off, let's see, a good top 5 for today. I just recently basically just put up a top 5, who would win battle between Broly, and the Hulk. Broly versus the Hulk, who was at the request of my friend Paul. So if you want to check out that video, go check it out real quick. And I also got some requests for other DBZ who would win. I'm sorry, I'm a little exhausted here, but I also got requests to do some death battles, so I might do those in the following weeks. And also I have a Dragon Ball Evolution movie review. Yes, if you want to know my thoughts on that, definitely check that out. But yeah, anyways, moving off of that, let's get out a good top 5. Today I'm going to do a top 5 of top 5 most badass Gohan moments. Gohan is an amazing character. I love him to death. And I'm going to give you my top 5 moments of him being a badass. Number 5. Him going up against Nappa. Nappa is definitely a very strong character at the Saiyan arc. He definitely defeated the Sea Warriors. And at first, Gohan in the fight is fully incapable of trying to beat any of them. You know, he can't really do it. He's inferior. He just can't do it. But then there comes a point in the story, in the fight, where Gohan overcomes his fears and takes on a full assault from Nappa. And that was pretty badass. And it's definitely one of those moments where, when I first saw this series, where I looked at Gohan and I was like, yeah, he's a badass. Anyways, number 4 on my list. Gohan saving Dende from Frieza. Frieza, when his first appearance in the Namek arc, was definitely his most dangerous. because we finally got a good sense of like who Frieza really is. We got a hint at him from here and there, but we finally got to see him, and we got to see how really evil he can be. And he's just sending his henchmen to like kill Namekians, and he's about to kill Dende. And right before they get to it, Gohan just sweeps in, kicks the shit out of Dodoria, takes on Dende. Krillin comes in, is like, let's get the fuck out of here, and they just get the fuck out. And that's a pretty badass moment in Gohan's history. Moving off of that, coming up in number 3, has to go down to Gohan sacrificing himself for future Trunks. In the history of Trunks, there's a specific moment where Trunks seeks wisdom and a father figure from Gohan. Gohan in future Trunks is a very darker character. He's definitely a very, more morbid kind of version of Gohan, and he's definitely one of the more badass version of Gohans that we've seen in the series. But there's a specific moment where he finally teams up with Trunks, and their first fight against the androids is a humongous failure. And there's a moment where Gohan has to sacrifice his arm and the well-being of his life for Trunks to live. And that just shows how much Gohan was influenced by his father. But it also showed the kind-heartedness and the good heart of Gohan, that he would sacrifice his own life for a kid that he possibly doesn't even really know has the ability to one day, save the world from the androids. And I just really love that moment. It's definitely one of the highlights of that special. If you've seen History of Trunks, you would know how epic and and awesome the overall storyline is. And that moment where Gohan wakes up after the blast and he's missing his arm, and he's just contemplating with his last senzu bean is like, should I eat it, or should I just save Trunks, who's on the verge of dying? And he just gives it to Trunks. And I just think, God, that's just a badass moment from Gohan. Anyways, moving off of that, coming up in number 2 on my list has to go down to Gohan standing up to Super Buu. It's definitely one of the more badass adult Gohan moments. Gohan in his adult years doesn't have the most epic or badass moments. And during the Buu arc, he definitely doesn't have that many badass moments. His first match against Majin Buu is basically a failure. He can't defeat him, and he almost dies. After that, he's training on the Kai's planet. And by the time he gets back on Earth, he's definitely a different person. He's Mystic Gohan or Ultimate Gohan, whichever version you want to go with. And essentially, once he reaches the battlefield, he's just pumped. He has the heart of his father. He's just ready to take down Buu for the last and final time. And he just walks right towards him. And fucking Super Buu is like, you want to fight Majin Buu? He's just so cocky. He's just like, he even talks like he's the third person, which is just fucking awesome and weird at the same time, where he's like, so hotshot, you want to fight Majin Buu? And just Gohan just stares at him and just says, fight you? No, I want to kill you. That's just a badass moment that I just love Gohan for. Now, granted, after that moment, the fight against Buu kind of drastically takes a different way, but once again, it's just a great start to a fight. Every fight should always, start in Dragon Ball Z, anyways, should start off with an amazing open liner. Just amazing, just that one liner. It's like, fight you? No, I want to kill you. That's just that. I don't know. That's just my most badass scene, anyways. Besides that, number 1 on my pick of top 5 moments, top 5 most badass moments from Gohan has to be once he transforms into a Super Saiyan 2 and completely annihilates. Did I even say that right? Fuck it. I'm going to continue on, even if I said that incorrectly. My grammar sucks, people, I know. Anyways. What can I say? I have a sore throat? I don't know. Anyways, Gohan transforms to a Super Saiyan 2 and just demolishes the Cell Juniors. The Cell Juniors that no one could defeat. Vegeta, Trunks, Piccolo, Goku. Everyone else had a difficult time just even trying to stay on the same wavelength as the Cell Juniors. Gohan just comes in and just demolishes them, just takes them out with one hit, one blow. Definitely one of the most badass Gohan moments. Gohan in the Cell arc is amazing. It's definitely dedicated to Gohan, but once he becomes a Super Saiyan 2, he just becomes another person. He's just so badass. He's so dedicated to finally giving Cell what he needs, which is an ass whooping, and he just takes the Senzu beans right out of Cell's hands. He's like, how'd you do that? And just fucking just slices those motherfuckers in half. It's just amazing. Anyways, that's pretty much my top 5 moments of Gohan being a badass, just a total BA. So, in the comment section below, what do you think are Gohan's most badass moments in the Dragon Ball series? Anyways, moving on for that, I'm going to end this video with some more Dragon Ball Z comments. So yeah, let's get started on this. I'm not going to name any names for the sake of, no one bitching at me. So if you do want me to say your name in future videos, let me know. But overall, let's get this show on the road. Specific comment from Who Would Win series, Hulk versus Broly. Broly has a power that never stops growing, even if he is not angry. Granted, that is possible. I mean, but then again, it's hard to argue that, because when you watch Legendary Super Saiyan and then watch Broly's Second Coming, Broly in the Second Coming is relatively kind of weaker. Sorry about that, but yeah, like when you watch Second Coming, he's not really stronger. You would think, because he should have had a Zenkai boost, and based off your argument, he should have had, power that was still growing, but he didn't. I mean, he pretty much had a difficult time at trying to defeat Gohan in his Super Saiyan 2. So, yeah. Does Broly power continues to grow the same way the Hulk does? I don't know, because he wasn't stronger in the sequels. Anyways, moving on for that. On the same video, Broly would win, especially because he can easily destroy planets and Hulk can't. Even though the Hulk can make craters in the earth with his Hulk Smash, but since Saiyans have the hunger to fight powerful opponents, Broly would lose if the fight drags on too long. Don't worry, okay. And this is pretty much just, a statement towards me. Anyways, yeah, pretty much Hulk can destroy planets. I don't know. I have to read more Hulk comic books to really, dive into that statement, but overall, sure. Okay, moving off of that, Ghost in the Shell live action movie video that came out last year. I made that video a while back, which was me basically discussing the Ghost in the Shell live action project, because for those of you who don't know, they are discussing a live action movie adaptation of Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson in the leading role, which I gave my 2 cents on. And I relatively get comments on it from time to time, so let's read them. Anyways, DBZ live action so bad. I wish you would elaborate. I wish you would elaborate on that, because I can't understand that comment. Like, are you meaning so bad as in like it's a bad idea, or do you mean it like you want to see it so bad? So if you could elaborate, that would be nice. Here's the next one, which gets to me, which is hysterical. DBC sucks and you have terrible taste in anime. That's a comment towards me. Or at least I think it's a comment towards me, because I didn't get, it wasn't a reply to anybody. So I'm guessing he's sending that comment towards me. First off, DBC, when I first saw this comment, the first thing I said to myself was, God, I can't wait to bash you. And here it is, folks, me bashing this guy. DBZ sucks. No, it does not, sir. It's a taste. Does Batman suck? Does Superman suck? Do the Avengers suck? Does pizza suck? Does sex suck? Does martial arts suck? Does the sun suck? Does the sky suck? It's all in personal taste, you dickweed. I'm just saying, you don't have to like something. It's all in personal taste. I can say Dragon Ball Z is the most amazing thing in the world, but is it? To a lot of people, it isn't. But it's my personal opinion. DBZ sucks to you. That's your opinion. But it's a dumb one, because it has no argument. So you are stupid. And I have terrible taste in anime. So I clearly stated in this video that I love Ghost in the Shell. So does that mean that Ghost in the Shell sucks and is a terrible anime? The number one critically acclaimed anime in history, considered a masterpiece, is terrible. Dude, your argument sucks and you suck at life. Anyways, moving off of that. Another comment on the same video. I think I was terrified in the beginning because I love the anime and owned the concentrated Laughing Man and standalone complex. This one piece of casting news has given me new hope that this will be a good movie. Most of the Marvel movies started with directors that no one wanted or expected, and yet most of their films have been amazing. Well, first off, well, it's nice to hear your love for Ghost in the Shell, which is nice. It's good to know that there are amazing, awesome fans for Ghost in the Shell. But yeah, I never really had that big of a problem with Scarlett Johansson. I know there are people out there who are like, oh no, But for me personally, Scarlett Johansson, she's a badass and she's hot as fuck. She's definitely an A-class actress as of now. So, everything she does is awesome. So I can give it to her. But it's one of those things that I have to see to judge. You know what I mean? So. But anyways, moving off of that, your Marvel movie director's analogy or argument, I think in that video, I can't remember because once again I made that video a long time ago, but if memory serves me correct, in that video I stated that I was not happy with the director choice for the project, but the only reason I said that is, I'm getting all mush mouth here. The reason I said that is because the director that they have in choosing sucks ass, dude. I mean, no offense. I know where you're coming from. I mean, most directors for the Marvel movies, specifically the Marvel Studios movies, first started off as shit. No one thought they were going to be good. Who knew the directors of The Winter Soldier were going to be awesome? Who knew the director of Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be awesome? Who the fuck knew that Jon Favreau would make a great Iron Man movie? I had no fucking idea. But they did. But that director... No, I just can't get it. I just can't get past that. Sure, even Michael Bay, and I hate Michael Bay. But that guy, I just don't like him. I don't like him as a person, and I don't like him as a director. He just doesn't have a visual style. He doesn't see it as an art form. He's just a womanizer douchebag. That's how I see the director. So, that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but that's just how I see things. Anyways, moving off of that, here's another video on my future of a Dragon Ball live action franchise, which was I think my first video ever discussing it, and it's definitely one of my most popular videos, for good reason. Anyways, your stupidity killed me a little. Okay, well, there you go. I don't want to elaborate on that because I just don't want to comment because it's even though I don't agree with what you're trying to say, it's kind of funny. So I'm going to let you live just for that. But if you do it again, dude, I will bash you and it will be amazing. Anyways, Bardock is the original Super Saiyan video. It just makes sense that Bardock would be the Super Saiyan God because he did go back to the past. First off, once again, we get to that Bardock thing. Gosh, as much as I hate bashing other Dragon Ball fans, it's just hard because it's so easy when it comes to Bardock and specifically episode of Bardock. First off, dude, or miss, or whoever. First off, YouTuber. I hope that's more PC for you. But essentially, Bardock going back in the past is not canon. It never happened. It's not canon. In the reality of the special, it also is not true because it just doesn't make sense. Bardock was never the Super Saiyan God because the Super Saiyan God existed at a specific point in time that just doesn't make sense. Bardock, by the time there would be Saiyans on planet. Okay, well let's debate this for a few seconds. In the reality of episode of Bardock, Bardock is stuck in the past. He's on planet Plant. There's no Saiyans. Okay, given. You know how much time in between then and when the Super Saiyan God appears? Drastically different time periods. Bardock would be possibly not even alive. He would be dead by that point in time. So it just doesn't make sense. So, yeah, there you go. I know people love it, but you know, it's just it. Yeah, Bardock is not the original Super Saiyan God. Okay, here's a comment on the same video, and alright. I like how you make a lot of sense, but that flashback of the original Super Saiyan isn't very canon either. Considered it was never shown in the manga. Also, even if you regarded it as canon, it was never started. It was never started that he blew up the Saiyans' original homeworld. Also, in Planet of Battle of Gods, it is heavily implied that the original Super Saiyan God was in fact battling on planet Vegeta, that we are all familiar with, and not a previous planet. The history of the Saiyans and Tuffles may not even be canon. Well, granted, I know where you're coming from, but yeah, the original Super Saiyan is not canon to the manga. Well, he is canon. It's just the way he looks is not canon. For those of you who don't know, the original Super Saiyan was talked about in the manga, but he was never seen. He wasn't seen until the anime came around, when Vegeta was talking about it, like he did in the manga, and you get a good visual of what he may have looked like, which is, of course, the golden great ape. But that's not canon. It's canon to the anime, but it's not canon to the manga. So that's where you're coming from. And yeah, the Saiyans' original homeworld, that's also not canon. It depends on what you think. And yeah, Battle of Gods heavily implies that the original Super Saiyan God was in fact on planet Vegeta. So I never discounted that. So yeah, there you go. But overall, I get where you're coming from. So there you go. Anyways, on the same video, if Bardock went back in time after his death, don't that mean he is the original Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan God? Once again, no, it is not, because he did not go back in time, because it is not canon. So yeah, there's that. I'm sorry, but it's just not true, folks. It just isn't. I know how much people love it, but it just doesn't. To some extent, it just does not make sense. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't. Anyways, moving off of that, I think that a Bardock movie of the destruction of Vegeta's planet will be a very good beginning of a Dragon Ball universe in cinema. Imagine that what Marvel is doing with Thanos. That could be that a good director could do with Frieza. First off, before I continue with this comment, there's like a whole bunch of error with your comment. There's a lot of error spelling here. I'm not trying to bash you. Granted, I'm not trying to bash you, but I'm just saying. First off, yeah, I get where you're coming from. A Bardock movie, I don't know. Like, look, I stated this in my videos. Bardock should be a part of the universe, and it would be awesome, like, for the first, 10 minutes of the movie. Kind of similar to what they did with Man of Steel, where they had, the first 10 to 20 minutes of the movie be about Jor-El and him sending Superman to Earth. Do that with Bardock, sure. Yeah, the first Dragon Ball Z movie or Dragon Ball movie you do, yeah, that's, the first 10 to 20 minutes. Bardock, in the grind, says his goodbyes to Goku and Gine, his wife. And you know what? He's done with it. He's sick of it. He goes on to take on Frieza, who could be the Thanos of the Dragon Ball Z universe, sure. And there you go. But a whole movie, I don't know about that. It definitely depends. I don't really think we need it. Would it be? I don't know. Make that more of an anime movie. Then again, Bardock, the father of Goku, kind of did that already. So yeah, it's kind of unnecessary. Anyways, moving off of that, I have a couple comments left, so I'm going to try and run through them as quickly as possible. So, yeah, let's try and do that. Let's see, how many comments do I have left before I don't know, screw it. I've already been going on, after over an hour, so let me try and run through this really quickly. Anyways. Also, the person who commented saying that DBC fan... Okay, well, that's a comment basically basically a reply to what I stated in the last episode. So, anyways, I'm not gonna go into full-fledged details into that. That's basically just a reply to a comment. Anyways, even though I much prefer Cell over Frieza, one of my favorite Frieza moments was when I at first thought that Frieza was a female because of his feminine voice. Also, if my memory serves me correctly, the first time I saw a DBZ scene in the 90s was when Kid Gohan encountered Vegeta on planet Namek, where Gohan hid the Dragon Ball away from Vegeta, but in June of 2001 was when I actually became a DBZ fan, when they aired it on Toonami. Alright, well, that's pretty awesome. First off, Cell over Frieza. Lots of people have said that, so I kind of get where you're coming from. And yeah, that's pretty awesome to know when you became a fan. That's also a major comment that I want to know from most Dragon Ball fans who may or may not be listening. It's like, when did you get interacted with Dragon Ball, and when did you become a fan? That's kind of like the overall comment. Anyways, moving off of that, let's see, some more comments. Okay, well, this is some more comments from Larson Williams, so I'm going to just try and run through them real quickly, because I already talked about his TV show idea. Anyways, I agree that you need Bola or Chi-Chi in, but I think it can be done moderately easy. Start with Good and Chi-Chi when he back from tree cutting. Have her appear at Nami at Name House, as well when Raditz shows up. Have Baba at Goku's house, giving Chi-Chi updates on battle, and have Chi-Chi going hysterical at the end when Goku dies. That sets up a good romance. All right. Well, I get where you're coming from. I like the idea. I would alter it a little bit, but yeah, that's pretty much a good idea. Because I did state in that video, which was making a Dragon Ball live action franchise part 6, if I'm not mistaken, that I think I stated that I wanted there to be more romance between Goku and Chi-Chi in a live action movie. Not Dragon Ball Evolution wise, but more of a realistic, leading man kind of romance, I'm just saying, like, Goku needs to be like James Bond or something. Anyways, also for scenes when Kaioken is used and they bulk up, do something like what they did in Captain America, the First Avenger. I'm sure they could do the opposite, like instead of being scrawny to big, do big to hulking. LOL. Yeah, another good idea. I did state that CGI comes a long way with Dragon Ball Z characters bulking up. And yeah, they could do that. The same thing they did with Marvel's Captain America, the First Avengers. So yeah, sure. Anyways, moving off of that. Who would win in a fight between the Great Ape versus Titan? Let's see. This is basically another comment speculating as to how it would go down. I would choose Great Ape Vegeta to beat him, especially because I'm a huge DBZ fan, and I don't like Attack on Titan very much, no matter how popular Attack on Titan is now. Great Ape Vegeta can simply use his beam attack to completely obliterate him, like how Gohan defeated Cell. Even Annie, the female Titan, dominated Eren in his Titan form. For the most part of the fight, in my opinion, this match between Great Ape and Vegeta and Eren is in his Titan form is a mismatch, but the best way Eren in his Titan form would be able to defeat Great Ape Vegeta is if he ripped off Vegeta's tail. Vegeta can destroy entire planets even with his Great Ape form, but Eren can't, not even in his Titan form. I was thinking for future matches, okay. Alright, well those, I'm not going to continue reading on, but these are basically, essentially, more requests for more Who Would Win series, which, if you've not checked out, once again, request some Who Would Win battles, some kind of versus matches, just let me know. Anyways, moving off of that, you know what? I'm gonna just end this comment right here. This is gonna be my last comment. I've been rambling far too long, and I appreciate all the Dragon Ball Z / anime related comments that I've gotten over the course of over the course of my break, and I hope you guys enjoy my overall, you know, my overall replies in this episode. But yeah, it's kind of hard to get to every comment, and sometimes YouTubers like send me really, really, really long comments where it's kind of hard to reply to them. Like if you send something that's moderately short and sweet, then I'll reply to it. But if you send me like a story, like a paragraph of shit, I like it and I'll read it, but it's kind of hard to reply to it. That's why the podcast comes in, where it's like, okay, I read it and here's my personal thoughts on what you had to say. So if you're a YouTuber and you're a subscriber, or if you're just a moderate watcher of my shit, then check out the podcast, like my John 12 Effect or my Super Kaioken, which you're listening to now. Essentially, if I don't get to you or reply to you in the comment section, most than likely that's because I will be replying to it on the podcast, on air. So that's pretty much it. But anyways, this is going to be my last comment of the day, so I hope you guys enjoy. I think I may have stated this. I think I may have said this comment last week's episode. Well, not last week's, my last episode of the Super Kaioken that I did. I may have said this comment before. I could be wrong, but I don't know. But I'm going to say it anyways for the sake of it. This is a video on, this is a comment towards my 5 ways to make a live Dragon Ball Z live action movie work video. Which is another really popular video that I made, which I thank everyone for. And anyways, you're going to be very happy you posted this one day. And once again, I don't know if I reply. I don't know if I stated this one before. I can't remember. It's been a while, so. But overall, thank you. Will I be very happy that I posted this one day? Maybe, because a lot of people may bash. People are going to be like, oh, Dragon Ball Z live action? That's stupid. It's never going to work. But you know what? Who knew the fucking Marvel Cinematic Universe was going to work? No one. Do you even remember what Marvel was before the Marvel Studios? They were shit. They were shit. They were. Watch the original Fantastic Four movie. Not the 2000s one. The original. Watch the original Captain America, not the one with Chris Evans, the original. Look at what Marvel tried to do back in the day. It sucked. It was so shit. Even their more recent ones were kind of crap. Even they were good for the time, but looking at them now, they do kind of suck. But then you have Marvel Studios making Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. They are the shit. Of course Dragon Ball can do the same. Dragon Ball Evolution sucked. But who knew? But who knows? One day, just like Marvel fans, us Dragon Ball Z fans, like let's say 10 years from now, are going to be laughing our asses off on those people who denied the fact that it could work. I'm especially going to be laughing. And hell, I'm still going to be laughing. Because it's just laughable that people would continue to deny the inevitable. That's what I like to think. Dragon Ball Z is an amazing franchise that deserves its own live-action franchise. And it's the number one franchise that I will always, always, to the day I die, request to happen. And that's just how I personally feel. It just needs to happen. I want it to happen. It deserves it. It has the popularity. It has the fan base. It has the good storytelling. It has the visuals, the adventure. It has everything that a movie could want. It just needs the right people working on it. And the people who are laughing at our faces right now, the people who are like, oh, that's stupid, Dragon Ball Z sucks, it's never going to work. Who knew Marvel Studios was going to work? Who knew that DC was going to work? Who knew Batman was ever going to work? No one. Until they actually did it. So, yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution. It's a failure. But it's just a kickstart to get people to be like, okay, we failed, and this is what we gotta do now to fucking revamp. Think of Godzilla. The 90s Godzilla sucked ass. But people sat down, we worked at it, we put our head in the ground, and we were like, we gotta stay in the fucking dungeon until we come up with something epic. And then they put out that fucking Godzilla movie last year, and it was amazing. That's what you do with Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Evolution sucks so bad that now we have to rework at it. We have to take baby steps, but we have to rework it to make it work again. So, but that's just what I personally believe. Anyways, thank you for the comments. I appreciate everyone who has sent me a comment and keep sending me comments. And in the comment section below today, let me know what you personally thought about everything I had to state today. What do you think about a Dragon Ball live action TV show? What type of TV network do you want to personally see own it? And what do you think about Kirby versus Majin Buu? Who should have won? What are your personal thoughts on Fukatsu no F, Gohan, and Krillin? And also, what are your personal thoughts on my top 5? What is your top 5 of most badass Gohan moments? And of course, let me know in the comment section below of my personal replies to various other comments. And I hope I get more comments so I can for next time's episode. But anyways, that's going to be it. I hope everyone has enjoyed this episode of the Super Kaioken Dragon Ball podcast. And also, if you want to know any upcoming Dragon Ball related type of videos, I will be doing more Who Would Win battles. I will also be doing some possible Dragon Ball Evolution movie reviews. So if you want to know my thoughts on Dragon Ball Evolution, then you will know. Anyways, that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. This has been John 12.